We're set for the last week of the 2020 regular season here on 99.1 The Rewind. Jeff Roberts bringing you tonight's action. Morley Stanwood on the road for their final contest of 2020 in the regular season, taking on the rival, their Beal City Aggies. This is going to be a good contest. Both teams 4-1 coming in, but two teams coming in with different routes last week. Morley Stanwood picking up a 32-24 win on the road at Holton, down on the west side of the state. And then Beal City losing to McBain last week in a back-and-forth contest where at one point in the first half, Beal City was winning 13-0. They led 19-16 with 8 minutes to go. And within 1 minute left in the ballgame, they were down that 23-19 inside the 10. Could not punch it in for a touchdown, and they fell for the first time of 2020 to League Highland Conference rival McBain 23-19. Both teams sitting second place in their respective divisions. Out of the Highland Conference are the Beal City Aggies, 4-1 behind the 5-0 McBain High School squad. And then for Morley Stanwood behind Kent City. Kent City, of course, 5-0. Kent City tackled Morley Stanwood in week 1, 16-0. That was the only loss for Morley Stanwood this season. They have won their last 4 games, 4-1 on the season. And over those last 4 games, over 150 points scored, averaging just under 40 points a game. Overall in the season, averaging just over 30 points a game. We got a good one tonight. My cameraman and producer Nathan Allen and Jeff Roberts bring you tonight's action, the final week of the 2020 regular season, right here on 99.1.
Home is where the heart is. Since 1903, we've called the heart of Michigan our home. When you bank with us, your money stays right here, invested back into the communities where we work, play, and live, promoting economic growth and community service. At Isabella Bank, we care about our community because this is our home too. Isabella Bank. Bank local, bank anywhere. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We're about set to go from week number 6 at Beal City High School in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, between the Mohawks and the Aggies. Two teams, 4-1, both number 3 in their playoff seeding districts as of right now. The Aggies will kick it from left to right over to the Mohawks first. They defer to the second half. Aiden Mindell will kick it away. Something to note. How about Aiden Mindell? Where's the old kicker's boot? And we're underway, an end-over-end kick to the south side of the field, driving Rylan Nelson all the way back. It lands in the end zone for a touchback. It'll bring Morley Stanwood out to their 20-yard line, and that's where they'll start their first possession tonight, looking for win number 5 straight and number 5 of the season here on the road. Last week against Holton, it was a shootout. Holton got up and early, 6-0 on their first possession after Morley Stanwood went 4 and out. Morley Stanwood scoring 16 straight unanswered points to take it into the half. They escaped with a 32-24 win. 405 total yards of offense. 340 on the ground and 65 through the air from quarterback Rylan Nelson. It'll be 1st and 10, no time off the clock. Aaron Moore under center in the wishbone set. Rylan leads the triangle. There's Nelson up the middle, squirts his way past the 25. Rolling to the 26. It's a 6-yard gain for Nelson. It'll be 2nd and 4. Last week for Nelson, 19 carries. He averaged 10 yards per carry at 190 yards, as well as 3 touchdowns all on the ground. Here's the 2nd and 4. There's Nelson again off the left guard. He's stopped near the line of scrimmage, maybe gets a yard on the play. They'll give him 2. Up to the 28, it's going to be 3rd and 2. Both rushes come way of Rylan Nelson. He has 8 yards.
Stop short of the first down by the Aggie line.
Head coach Art Campione, the Mohawks, telling me this past Wednesday in our weekly coaches call, they need to get going early on the ground, and they'll go with that wishbone set real heavily early. You see it here. Here's the 3rd and 2. Carter Veldkamp off the right tackle. He's stopped at the line of scrimmage and drilled backwards. Maybe gets a half a yard on the play, but it's going to be 4th and short.
Number 8, Matt Oswald in on the tackle, along with 72, Aiden Mindell.
Matt Oswald in on the stop. Only his third game played this season, Matt Oswald. Also a tight end on the offensive side. 9 tackles and 2 sacks in those 2 games coming in. He has double-digit tackles now. Here's the 4th and 1. Off the right tackle. That's Carter Veldkamp on the carry. That's a 1st and 10 for Morley Stanwood.
Rylan Nelson, your ball carrier for a Mohawks first down.
And Carter Veldkamp, Rylan Nelson, of course, the big 2 backs this season for Art Campione and the Mohawk offense. Aaron Moore, the junior quarterback under center. But Rylan Nelson, he'll be the quarterback if Morley Stanwood elects to ever go to the spread offense. But for right now, it's been all wishbone and a 1st and 10 from the 34. Handoff up the middle. And that Beal City defense, they haven't allowed many yards in the last few plays. Maybe getting a yard on the play. It's Rylan Nelson. He does get a yard up to the 34. Second tackle from Matt Oswald tonight. 5 plays so far for Morley Stanwood. 4 of them being rushes by Rylan Nelson. 1 being by Carter Veldkamp. 9:40 to go in the first. No score. Cody Engstrom here in the flat to the near side. A pitch play. Andrew Van Langen is drilled in the backfield.
Pitch goes to number 1, Andrew Van Langen.
It's going to be a loss of 3 on the play from Andrew Van Langen. His first rush tonight. It'll be 3rd and long for the Mohawks inside their own 35.
Tackle made by number 4, Wade Wilson.
That tackle made by Wade Wilson. 3rd and long. Receiver out in the flat to the right. A pitch play. Veldkamp on the outside. Up past the line of scrimmage and tackled at the original line of scrimmage for a gain of 2. It'll be 4th and 10 in the Mohawks. Deep inside their own territory. They'll be forced to punt.
Ethan Locke in on the tackle as well.
Head coach Art Campione, his key to this ball game is get going early and get going fast. You can't let Beal City score first. Can't let them have big plays. They do get 1 first down on the first drive, but can't put in any points. As Van Langen, he's into punt, but a timeout is called before the snap by Morley Stanwood. So with 8:11 to go in the first quarter, nearly 4 minutes gone, no score from Beal City High School. We have the rest of the first quarter next on 99.1 The Rewind. It's 4th and 10 for the Morley Stanwood Mohawks. A first down on this first possession, but can't get any yards on the second set of chains. And as always, our presenting game sponsor, Johnson's Automotive Repair off Northland Drive in Big Rapids, serving the area with honesty and integrity. The big lefty boot, a real worm burner on the ground, rolling past the 40-yard line of Beal City. And Rylan Nelson picks it up at the 36. And that's where Beal City, they will start this possession. And a real prolific and established Beal City program. These 2 rivals in different conferences. This is the 21st meeting between the 2, and Beal City has had Morley Stanwood's number. Beal City 15-4-1 in the first 20 meetings between these 2 programs. Last year in week 9, Beal City and Morley Stanwood squared off. A 21-14 Aggie win at the same Beal City High School. It's 1st and 10 for the Aggies. Jake Gross under center. On the first play, there's Matthews on the end around. He gets the handoff. It's stopped near the line of scrimmage for no gain. Pardon me, freshman Jamison Latham on the handoff. He's brought down by Levi Schuberg. No gain on 1st and 10. It'll be 2nd and 10, still at the 36. A lot of young guys on this ball club. 5 freshmen, as well as 3 sophomores. Second and 10 at the 36. Gross still under center. 2 tight end set with a backer in the backfield. There's a handoff to that backer. Off the right tackle, up past the 40-yard line. Cade Block picks up 5. It'll be 3rd and 5. Cade Block, the leading rusher on this Aggie squad, 597 yards on this season coming in. That pickup of 5 pushes him back the 600-yard plateau, averaging 119 yards a game on the ground. He's also tallied 5 touchdowns in these first 5 weeks. It's 3rd and 5. 2 receivers out to the near side. There's motion. And there's Matthews up the middle running hard, but is stopped by the front line of Morley Stanwood. He maybe gets a yard on the play, but it's going to be 4th down for Beal City.
Handoff goes to number 5, Ben Matthews.
Brad Gross, the head coach for Beal City in his 6th season. He's a hometown boy. He actually played at Beal City back in the early 90s and captured the school's first state title. He was the starting quarterback.
No gain on the play, 4th and 6.
He was the head JV coach for 12 years from the age of 19 to 31, left for a few years and came back as now in his 6th year as the varsity head coach. And he has some weapons. It starts with quarterback Jake Gross here on 4th and 5. It's just a trick punt play. That falls asleep near the 25-yard line, back to the 24. Jamison Latham, the punter. And that's where Morley Stanwood, they'll start their second possession, forcing Beal City to go 3 and out in their first possession of this ball game. And while we're breaking the action, Morley Stanwood Sports Boosters, with the hit of COVID-19, Morley Stanwood Mohawk Athletics need all the support you can give. Contact Morley Stanwood High School for details on how to help. And you mentioned COVID-19, it's been a tough year. A lot of high schools needing to find last-minute games as opposing teams being hit with COVID scares, but both these teams playing a full 5 games up into this week. As the 1st and 10, there's Nelson up the middle. He's drilled backwards to the line of scrimmage after gaining a yard. They maybe give him 1 yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9 from the 26. But a lot of schools this year with COVID scares, they only have 3 or 4 games under the belt. Of course, every team in the state does make the playoffs this year, something different than usual. As here's Rylan Nelson. Takes the snap, an end around. Carter Veldkamp on the outside. Has to find a hole up toward the middle. Gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a half a yard on the play.
Number 8, Carter Veldkamp, your ball carrier.
He does get a yard, his 3rd rush tonight. It'll be 3rd and 8 from the 27. Some mist starting to come down here at Beal City High School. It's cold. It'll be under 40 degrees by the time this game is over for the first time this season. As here's another different set. Rylan Nelson in the shotgun, but starting quarterback Aaron Moore here on the near side flat. And there's Schuberg in motion. Play action across the middle of the Veldkamp. It's thrown and nearly picked off. Back in coverage, Marcus Kent. He already has an interception on the season. But Carter Veldkamp, there was a one-on-one coverage in the zone. Kent did a great job cutting off that pass. The first pass play tonight by Morley Stanwood. Rylan Nelson now 0 for 1. Last week he was 5 for 9 through the air with 65 yards. But with that incompletion, it's 4th and 8. Van Langen, he's on the punt for the 2nd time in as many possessions. Another line drive kick, 2 receivers back for Beal City. They decide to just let it die near the 39-yard line with 4:20 to go in this first quarter. That's where Beal City, they will start their side for 30 seconds on 99.1, the rewind. 4:20 to go in the first quarter. Still no score between these two non-conference rivals. First time both of these teams played a non-conference game this season. The 1st and 10 from the 39 for Beal City. That's a handoff up the middle, but he goes nowhere. Drop for a yard. That's Matthews. His 2nd touch tonight goes backwards for a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11. They give him the forward progress. Back to the line of scrimmage, so no loss on the play, but still regardless, no gain. It's 2nd and 10 for the Aggies. Ben Matthews this season, I mentioned he has a couple touches already tonight. He's second on this team with 496 yards on the ground. Also a couple receptions for negative yards. Plays come on the ground. Here's the 2nd and 10. Gross under center. 2 running backs behind him. He elects. There's Matthews off the left tackle. He has a hole and more. A lead blocker, Rylan Nelson. The last chance for Morley Stanwood, dragging him down inside the 35 of the Mohawks. But there's the first big play tonight for either of these squads, and the first down for Beal City. They have it in Mohawk territory. That was the 3rd rush tonight for Ben Matthews. Coming in, he had touched it 75 times. Second to only Cade Block in carries this season. But they have a 1st and 10, the first time one of the opposing teams has been in the other's territory. With a receiver out to the far side and 2 running backs in the backfield behind Gross. Here's the 1st and 10. A pitch. There's Matthews off the right tackle. He bouncing it outside to the near side sideline. He's met by Levi Schuberg, spun forward past the 25. Picking up 7 on the play. There's Ben Matthews. It'll be 2nd and 3. Matthews just a hair under 100 yards per game, 99.5 yards a game coming in through the first 5 weeks. Last week, 14 carries, 68 yards. Looks to do more of the same here. He's the tailback in this set. Fullback Wade Wilson leads the way. There's a handoff off the right tackle for Matthews, a 1st down inside the 20. Up to the 16-yard line. They give him another 1st down, his 2nd 1st down rush tonight. He has 5 carries, the most touches for an Aggie tonight. And Wade Wilson, the fullback in that set, changed his number for this ball game from 63 to number 4. Wilson, another one of the big athletes on this offensive powered team. It's 1st and 10. Time ticks under 2 minutes in the first. This is the first real threat that either team has put on the other tonight. Marcus Kent, the receiver, out on the far side. Cade Block in the backfield. There's motion and Block. He gets the handoff off the middle on a dive play, but he's met by the defensive line and drilled backwards. He maybe gets a yard on the play to the 16. Cade Block's 2nd touch tonight. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Gain of about a yard, 2nd and 9. Beal City from the Mohawks, 15-yard line.
And this Beal City team riddled with injuries this season. Brad Gross telling me just in the last couple weeks, he's getting his guys back. A lot of juniors and seniors that have not had the playing time because of the injuries. But right before playoffs, that's a perfect time to get them. 60 seconds to go in the first. It's 2nd and 9 inside the red zone. Here's Block off the right guard. Gets a couple blocks and finds his way up near the 10-yard line.
Handoff goes to number 1.
He picks up about 5 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and 5. Block, I mentioned, 5 touchdowns this season. As the wind picking up here at Beal City High School. You see the mist coming down as well. The forecast, a lot of rain tonight. I also mentioned the first time this season that Morley Stanwood, they'll play in a ball game where the temperature dips below 40 degrees. Here's a 3rd and 5. Matthews off the left tackle. Maybe gets a few yards on the play inside the 10-yard line. Up to about the 8, but it's going to be 4th down for Beal City. The clock hits zeros. 12 minutes gone here from Beal City High School between these two non-conference rivals. No score. We step aside for 30 seconds. Second quarter next on 99.1 The Rewind.
They say lightning doesn't strike twice, but they were wrong.
Ugh, I can't believe my car's struck by lightning twice. Now it doesn't start again.
Thankfully, the NEPA-certified techs at Johnson's Automotive in Big Rapids can fix electrical systems and starters, so our hero can get back on the road quickly.
Wow, it's almost like a total recall. Thankfully, I don't have to be a running man anymore.
Johnson's Automotive, fixing all foreign and domestic vehicles. Northland Drive, just south of the airport, Big Rapids.
Hi, my name is Dr. Rachel Williams. I just opened a new family practice clinic, Williams Family Medical. I see all types of patients from birth to geriatrics. I came back to Big Rapids because I grew up in Big Rapids. I have roots here, my family is here, my parents are here, and I feel really strongly about serving this community. I originally thought I was going to be a physical therapist. I had looked at being a pharmacist, and then I realized as I looked into those programs that nothing held my attention the way that medicine did, of being the doctor. And being able to go to an area like Big Rapids, where I've worked in other rural health clinics, and being the doctor in a small area is a great way to serve the community. But there's also an intimacy that you get when you're somebody's doctor and you know.
We're set to go for the start of the second quarter. Beal City inside the 10-yard line, but they have a 4th and 2. Morley Stanwood loading the blocks. They send the blitz. Ben Matthews off the right side. He finds the first down near the goal line, but they'll mark him down right about the 1-yard line.
Take it down to the 2-yard line.
They spot him at the 2. Ben Matthews, his 7th touch tonight, and the 3rd time he's found a first down for the Aggies. Beal City looking to score first tonight. Of course, Morley Stanwood giving up the first points last week at Holton. They came back in that victory. Here's the 1st and goal. In the same 2 tailback set, a receiver out to the right. There's Matthews, but he's met in the backfield, and it's blown dead before he could be brought to the ground. They give him the forward progress, losing a yard. Back to the 3-yard line, a loss of 1 for Matthews. It's going to be 2nd and goal. Matthews leading this ball club, 8 touches tonight, followed by Cade Block with 3. And Jamison Latham, he opened this ball game with a 1-yard loss on his only touch. As always, every single week here at 99.1 The Rewind, this game is brought to you by Biller Insurance. Home Auto Commercial Life. Scott Biller has you covered. Here's a 2nd and goal. There's Matthews in motion, gets the pitch, but he's brought down in the backfield. There's Andrew Van Langen. A good open field tackle all the way back, pushing him outside of the 10 yards. It's going to be 3rd and goal, but from the 12-yard line. Van Langen has been everywhere tonight. His brother Ashton Van Langen out of this ball game. But the senior Andrew playing cornerback tonight in his brother's place. He has been everywhere. A couple big losses for Beal City. Find themselves a 3rd and goal from the 12. Rolling out right is Gross. Looking across the middle. Looking for Owens. And there's the catch. That's Matt Oswald on the catch. He brings it down on a leaping effort. And Beal City, they take the lead 6-0 here in the beginning of the second quarter. That was Gross's first pass attempt tonight. He completes it to Matt Oswald, who last week, he had 3 receptions. Oswald, that's the first time his number has been called tonight. That's the 8th touchdown pass for Jake Gross on the season, in the 4th within the last 2 weeks. He had 3 last week. He gets it going early here for Beal City. 9:43 to go in the first half. There's Aiden Mindell on for the extra point. Snaps a bit high, the hold. He just boots it through the uprights for the extra point. Just over 2 minutes gone in the second quarter. Beal City drives all the way down finished off with a 12-yard touchdown pass from Jake Gross to Matt Oswald. We have the rest of the second quarter next on 99.1 The Rewind. Six 0 Aggies, 7 0 Aggies. After the extra point is good for Maiden Mindell. They take an early lead here. Kicking it away, Aiden Mindell for the second time. They, of course, kicked it to Morley Stanwood to start this ball game. That touchdown, a 12-yard touchdown pass from Gross to Oswald, the first throw tonight from the Beal City offense. That was their second possession the first quarter. Only taking 18 minutes to get through. Here's Mindell to kick it away. Rylan Nelson, he's back deep. A line drive kick that yard line, inside the goal line. And that football, not sure if it actually got to the goal line, but the referees, they'll call it a touchback. And that was a close one to take for Nelson, but he lets it fall, and for the second time in as many kicks, it's a touchback for Aiden Mindell. And Morley Stanwood, they'll start at the 20-yard line for their third possession tonight. Morley Stanwood, they had a first down on their first possession. Went 3 and out in the last one. Have it 1st and 10 from the 20. Aaron Moore under center. Ekstrom leading the wishbone set. He's the lead blocker for Rylan Nelson, who gets the handoff toward the left side. He squirts through the line of scrimmage for a gain of maybe 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Mohawks. Nelson, his 6th carry tonight. Wade Wilson on the stop, middle linebacker, wearing number 4 tonight for the Aggies. 16 tackles this season, solo. Here's Nelson, he's in the shotgun. There's Veldkamp in motion. The snap gets by Nelson. He picks it up, and he's drilled backwards inside the 10-yard line. That's a huge loss for Morley Stanwood. It's going to be 3rd and real long, back to the 10 for the Mohawks. It's still misting a bit. The wind and the cold really playing a factor tonight. But it's about what team will have the least mistakes between these two really good clubs.
Loss of 10 on the play, 3rd and 20 for the Mohawks.
It's a loss of 12 on the missed snap. That's Connor Tronson at center. There's Morley Stanwood, and it trips to rolling out right to pass. There's Nelson. He looks downfield. Aaron Moore, quarterback, but it's incomplete, out of Aaron Moore's hands. It hit him on the chest. That's going to be a 4th down. That's the first time this season that Rylan Nelson has looked to pass to his quarterback counterpart, Aaron Moore. It's no good, though. Nelson 0 for 2 through the air tonight. And Morley Stanwood, they'll be forced to punt for the 3rd time in as many possessions. The big lefty sending it downfield, rolling up to the 45-yard line, but it's picked up by Matthews and a good open field tackle. Rylan Nelson getting down the field in a flash. But Beal City, they'll have good field position up at the 40-yard line of Morley Stanwood, looking to score for the 2nd time and as many drives. Another sponsor tonight for Morley Stanwood football here on 99.1 The Rewind. Biller Insurance, proud supporter of Morley Stanwood Athletics. Get a free quote from Scott Biller to make sure you're paying for what you need. Find out more at BillerInsurance.com. third time that the Aggies have had the ball on offense. Looking to score for the second time. Marcus Kent to the near side. Out in the flats. Matthews comes in motion, faking the handoff to him, but Block gets it up on the dive in the middle. He fights his way past the line of scrimmage for a gain of 3. Block's 4th touch tonight. It'll be 2nd and 7. Ball placed at the 37. Tim Engstrom on this stop. Tim up for only his 3rd varsity football game. The sophomore that was called up from the JV squad. Brother of junior middle linebacker Cody Engstrom. Cody leading this team in 10 tackles per game. But Tim, a couple weeks ago in game 1, he had 7 tackles his first varsity football game. The two Engstrom brothers playing middle linebacker currently. They're in a 4-4 set on defense. 2nd and 7. And the handoff to Cade Block is fumbled. We wait to see who picks it up. And Morley Stanwood, they have it. A missed handoff from Jake Gross to Cade Block. The first mishap tonight for either of these squads. Overall, only the 4th turnover of the season for Beal City gives it back to Morley Stanwood. And if you're Morley Stanwood, you got to count on those mistakes. Brad Gross, he prides himself on a team that does not shoot themselves in the foot all too often. And when they do, of course, it proves worthy they lost last week because of it. But here's the 1st and 10 for Morley Stanwood in the wishbone set. Aaron Moore hanging it off to the outside. Picking up a couple is Levi Schuberg. His first touchdown on the offensive side. It's going to be 2nd 8, past the 35-yard line to the 36.
2-yard gain on the play, 2nd down and 8 at the 36-yard line.
Levi Schuberg, a 5'9" junior, only 165 pounds, but he has been big, especially on the defensive side. 2nd and 8, pitch. There's Veldkamp. He cuts it up towards midfield. He picks up about 3, maybe 2 on the play. They spot it near the 40-yard line, up toward the 38. It's going to be 3rd and 6.
Short gain on the play, 3rd down.
Veldkamp and Nelson both have been real quiet tonight. The two ground and pounders, this Morley Stanwood offense. But here's Nelson on the 3rd and 6 up the middle. He picks up 3 yards past the 40. It's about the 42. It's going to be 4th and 3.
Rylan Nelson, your ball carrier.
But Carter Veldkamp, Rylan Nelson, the two big athletes on this offensive side. They've been relatively silent tonight. They lead this team in touches. Nelson has 7. Veldkamp, he's got 4. But for the 4th time, Morley Stanwood, they'll be forced to punt. They only punted a couple times last week against Holton. The punt rolling inside the 20-yard line, picked up by Marcus Kent. He has a hole on the far side. He's dragged down near the 40-yard line up toward midfield. A good return for Marcus Kent. Is a flag, the first flag tonight. 5:05 to go in the first half. Beal City with a 7-0 lead. This game real back and forth. Beal City had the momentum for a second. They had the possession inside the 40-yard line of Morley Stanwood before Cade Block fumbles. But the flag on the play, a block in the back against Beal City. It'll push him back 10 yards to the 30.
Would all of our homecoming attendants and parents, if you are able,
and tonight, for Beal City, it's homecoming. In this real short season,
start making your way down to the track.
These homecoming games come up quick. Morley Stanwood had their homecoming game back in week 3. Here's the 1st and 10 from the 30 for Beal City. Ben Matthews to the near side off the left tackle. He has a hole. He finds it, but is tripped up by Andrew Van Langen near the 35-yard line. There's a game of 5 for Matthews. It'll be 2nd and 5. Matthews, double-digit touches tonight. That was his 10th.
At the Aggie 36-yard line.
They gave him an extra yard on the play as he fell forward with the football. From the 36, it's 2nd and 4 for the Aggies. 4:30 and counting to go in this first half. Beal City with a 7-0 lead. This time, Wade Wilson, he gets the handoff, breaking a tackle in the backfield, fighting for the first down near the 40-yard line.
Number 4, Wade Wilson. Your ball carrier.
Wade Wilson, his first rush tonight. It'll be 3rd down. They only give him 3 yards on the play. He fought through a tackle in the backfield by Andrew Van Langen. He missed that tackle, but it was dragged backwards by Cody Engstrom. It'll be 3rd and short. Inside 4 to go in this first half. Beal City will get the second half kickoff. But this season, Wade Wilson, he's a real athlete, only a sophomore. His biggest games come in the return game. 8 returns this season for 126 yards, averaging over 15 a return. He's in the backfield still. He's the lead blocker for Cade Block, who gets the first down up near midfield, skirting his way past the 45 to about the 46-yard line. It's going to be a 1st and 10 for Beal City. Cade Block last week in the loss to McBain. 15 carries, 91 yards. Here in this first half, he only has 5 touches. He's the lone back in the backfield, behind Jake Gross. Play action, back across the middle. Wade Wilson is wide open. He makes the catch. Dragging him down is Keegan Riggs, but a big completed pass for Jake Gross, his 2nd completion tonight. That's a 1st and 10 for Beal City.
Tackle made by number 2, Keegan Riggs.
And that was a touchdown-saving tackle from Keegan Riggs. He was beat on the play. A beautiful throw from Jake Gross. His 2nd completion tonight, as I mentioned, his 29th completion overall on the season. Gives Beal City a big first down. Inside 3 to go in this first half. Here's a real chance for the Aggies to capture some more points before the halftime. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Here's a handoff up the middle. Maybe getting a yard on the play.
Carter Fussman, your ball carrier.
Carter Fussman. He barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. Fussman's first touch tonight.
Gunnar Bruce in on the tackle.
In Beal City, they were inside the 5-yard line for a 1st and goal before being dropped back on a couple plays for losses. At the start of the 2nd quarter, they later scored on a 12-yard touchdown pass. Looking to do more of the same here. Here's Jamison Latham in motion. Gross fakes the handoff, rolling left, looking for Fussman inside the 10-yard line, completing that pass up to the 5.
Carter Fussman.
And Fussman on this drive, especially in the last couple plays, coming to life. 2 touches. There's a first down grab from Carter Fussman. The 3rd completion for Jake Gross in as many tries tonight. Jake Gross last week, 127 yards through the air. Also 3 touchdowns. Looking for his 2nd touchdown here tonight, whether it be on the ground or through the air. 1st and goal. Ben Matthews, handoff to the left side. Touchdown, Beal City.
Goes to Ben Matthews for a Beal City touchdown.
A 5-yard touchdown run for Ben Matthews. His 7th touchdown run of the season, leading this running back core for the Aggies. It pushes Beal City a 13-0 lead. 1:18 to go in the first half. Matthews, his 11th touch tonight. A kid averaging 99 yards per game on the ground. 11 carries in this first half. He only had 14 overall last week against McBain. And here's the extra point kick. And it's good. An extra point kick again by Aiden Mindell, pushing this lead 14-0 for Beal City. 1:18 to go in the first half. Morley Stanwood has the ball after these 30 seconds.
Hey, folks. It's your favorite announcer, Harry Carey, with Sam's Disposal. I just wanted to remind you that Sam's Disposal is the area's leader in garbage service. Hey, they have flat rates and no contracts with no hidden fees. Call Sam's today at 796-2952. Cubs win. Cubs win. Hey, everybody. I heard the moon was made of Swiss cheese.
14-0. A 60-yard drive for Beal City, capped off with a 5-yard touchdown run by Ben Matthews. Jeff Roberts bring you tonight's game, week 6, already the final week of the regular season. Morley Stanwood looking for win number 5, but they're down 14-0. There's Mindell, an end-over-end kick that will bounce out of bounds inside the 10-yard line, and the flags fly. It'll give Morley Stanwood good field position. One of their better field position starts this game. Morley Stanwood, 4 possessions, 4 punts. Have not gotten across midfield into Beal City territory. A Beal City team that allowed 23 points to a very good McBain team last week. That's the most they've allowed this season. Only allowed 8 points to both Manton and Roscommon in week 3 and 4. Here's the 1st and 10. There's Levi Schuberg on the end around to the far side, fighting his way up near the 40-yard line. Schuberg's second rush tonight. Give him 6 on the play, past the 40-yard line to the 41. It'll be 2nd and 4. Tonight, the offense has been run through Rylan Nelson and Carter Veldkamp. Nelson, 7 touches. Veldkamp with 4, but Schuberg is right there. He has a couple, along with Andrew Van Langen has 1. Here's a 2nd and 4. Carter Veldkamp on the handoff, past the 45-yard line for a first down, nearing midfield as Morley Stanwood. Time ticks, 36 seconds to go in the first half. The whistle's blown dead with the first down. Mohawks looking to get into Beal City territory for the first time tonight. Here's Rylan Nelson in the shotgun. He has trips right to the near side and a receiver to his left. Dropping back. Here's pressure, but he throws to the near side. Levi Schuberg makes the shoelace grab across midfield to the 40, scampering his way, breaking tackles back toward midfield. They give him the progress to the 42-yard line. Another first down, first completion tonight for Rylan Nelson, and Levi Schuberg's first reception of the season. But Morley Stanwood, they take their second timeout of the half. 15 seconds to go in the first half. Morley Stanwood, they look good on this 5th possession inside Beal City territory. We step aside for 30 seconds.
Your car's transmission. It can be your best friend or your worst nightmare. One day you're cruising along without a care in the world. The next day your car is about as mobile as a big old hog on a hot summer day. Thankfully, the Napa certified techs at Paris Auto Sales and Service of Big Rapids specialize in fixing and rebuilding transmissions. They'll make sure your car runs so smooth you'd think it was a pickup line from Patrick Swayze. Paris Auto Sales and Service of Big Rapids, Northland Drive, just north of the airport. Schedule your appointment online at parisautosales.br.net.
Morley Stanwood, 1 timeout to go in this first half. 15 seconds to go. Maybe have time for 2 plays. Here's the 1st and 10. Nelson takes a shot on the far side, but it's going to be intercepted by Ben Matthews. Carter Veldkamp was the closest Mohawk receiver, but he was trailing that football. Ben Matthews his third interception on the season. There is an Aggie that is limping on the play. That's Marcus Kent. That play took 8 seconds off the clock. Giving the ball back to Beal City. You just assume they'd probably take a knee here and send it to the half.
Beal City will take over 1st and 10 at their own 10-yard line.
7 seconds to go in the first half. Gross is under center. Two running backs in the backfield. He does take a knee, and that will send us to halftime. 24 minutes down here from Beal City High School. 14-0. The hometown Aggies leading the Morley Stanwood Mohawks in the final week of MHSAA football. Morley Stanwood, they have some ground to make up. We come back in a few minutes with a halftime report right here on 99.1 The Rewind.
Since 1995, ServiceMaster Clean and the Nostrand family have been cleaning carpets and upholstery, homes and businesses, restoring after fires and floods, and disinfecting COVID. And right now, ServiceMaster Clean will clean 2 rooms and a hall in your home for only $95, a savings of $40. 25 years this year, over 30 People's Choice Awards. Call on ServiceMaster Clean today. And now that the football is disinfected, let's get back to Morley Stanwood Mohawk football.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
It's halftime here at Beal City High School, 14-0. The Mohawks trailing the hometown Beal City Aggies. We go through the 2 scoring plays for Beal City, starting off on a 12-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Jake Gross to Matt Oswald. The extra point was good. And then a possession later, Ben Matthews, a 5-yard touchdown run after a 70-yard drive. Extra point good by the kicker again, giving Beal City 14 points and the lead, 14-0. Only the second time this season that Morley Stanwood has trailed at the half. The other time was in week 1, where they trailed 8-0 against Kent City, later losing that ball game 16-0. And for Morley Stanwood, no points, but in the first half, Ryland Nelson just over 20 yards on the ground on the defensive side, leading the way with 8 tackles, and the middle linebackers in the 4-4 set. Both of the Engstrom brothers, junior Cody and sophomore Tim, just behind Ryland Nelson. Cody Engstrom 7 tackles, Tim Engstrom 6 tackles. And Tim Engstrom, a season high of 7 tackles on the year. He's nearly there in this first half with 6. I mentioned 14-0. Aggies have the lead, looking to bounce back after a week 5 loss against McBain here at Beal City High School last week. Morley Stanwood looking for win number 5 straight and win number 5 of the season. Both of these teams 4-1. Both of them number 3 of the 8-team districts going into playoffs. As of right now, of course, this game could have some major implications depending on the winner and loser and playoff points. We have 24 minutes down, 24 to go. Morley Stanwood, they have to come back from 14-0.
Deer just don't get it. They can't judge your speed. They panic when they see your headlights, and they bolt in any direction. Now, you may get it, but you still can't anticipate when and where deer are and what they'll do. So Mecosta County Collision reminds you, be alert, wear your seatbelt, and if you can't avoid a crash, stay in your lane. Mecosta County Collision can expertly restore your vehicle to pre-accident condition. Your safety comes first. Mecosta County Collision, Northland Drive in Morley, 231-307-3101.
Your car's transmission. It can be your best friend or your worst nightmare. One day you're cruising along without a care in the world. The next day your car is about as mobile as a big old hog on a hot summer day. Thankfully, the Napa certified techs at Paris Auto Sales and Service of Big Rapids specialize in fixing and rebuilding transmissions. They'll make sure your car runs so smooth you'd think it was a pickup line from Patrick Swayze. Paris Auto Sales and Service of Big Rapids, Northland Drive, just north of the airport. Schedule your appointment online at parisautosales.br.net.
Hi, my name is Dr. Rachel Williams. I just opened a new family practice clinic, Williams Family Medical. I see all types of patients from birth to geriatrics. I came back to Big Rapids because I grew up in Big Rapids. I have roots here, my family is here, my parents are here, and I feel really strongly about serving this community. I originally thought I was going to be a physical therapist. I had looked at being a pharmacist, and then I realized as I looked into those programs that nothing held my attention the way that medicine did, of being the doctor. And being able to go to an area like Big Rapids, where I've worked in other rural health clinics, and being the doctor in a small area is a great way to serve the community. But there's also an intimacy that you get when you're somebody's doctor and you know them, and you know their family, and you know their history. It's a good way to make friends, you know? I am Dr. Rachel Williams. I opened a family medicine clinic here in downtown Big Rapids. You can call us at 616-570-4776. Find us on Facebook with Williams Family Medical or online williamsfamilymedical.com.
We're back for the second half from Beal City High School, 14-0. The hometown Aggies on top of the visiting Morley Stanwood Mohawks. And as always, our presenting game sponsor, Johnson's Automotive Repair off Northland Drive in Big Rapids, serving the area with honesty and integrity. We'll see the Morley Stanwood kicking team for the first time tonight. Morley Stanwood, of course, has punted 4 times and an interception in their 5 possessions of the first half. Kicking it left to right, Rylan Nelson. He boots it on a line, bouncing inside the 10-yard line. It'll roll and played it in the end zone for a touchback. And Beal City, they'll start their first possession of the second half from the 20-yard line. 2 scores for the Aggies in the second quarter, both coming by way on the offensive side, a 12-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Jake Gross and a 5-yard touchdown run from Ben Matthews. Ben Matthews eventually awarded homecoming king at halftime. Jake Gross, his quarterback counterpart, also his runner-up for homecoming king. Here's 1st and 10 from the 20. No time gone here in the second half yet. There's a handoff up the middle. Jamison Latham. He's gobbled at the line of scrimmage, maybe getting a half a yard on the play. They gave him 1 up to the 21-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 9. Jamison Latham, the freshman, only his 2nd touch tonight. And very similarly to the beginning of this ball game for Beal City, Latham gets the first touch of the half. A very quick first half. Half that did not even surpass 40 minutes. 24 minutes of football played in that time. Here's the 2nd and 9 at the 21. There's Ben Matthews in motion. A quick pass to the near side. That's caught. Matt Oswald, his 2nd reception tonight, gives Beal City a first down up to midfield right at the 50-yard line. And Beal City and Matt Oswald, he is fired up. Jake Gross now 4 for 4 tonight. The second time he's hooked up with Oswald. The first time was that 12-yard touchdown pass to begin the second quarter.
30-yard gain on the play. Tackle made by number 32, Cody Ekstrom.
A 29-yard touchdown pitch and catch. 29 reception pitch and catch from Gross to Oswald. Puts Beal City right at midfield. Another slant play to the near side, and that's a completion. Marcus Kent, his first touch tonight. He steps out of bounds. Past the 35-yard line to about the 33. Give him 17 yards on the pass. Gross now, he's perfect. 5 for 5. And the first time Kent has touched the football. 17-yard reception. Marcus Kent, the leading receiver coming in for Beal City on this squad. 11 receptions, 149 yards in 2. They give him 5 yards on the spot, past the 30-yard line. Here's a third pass play of the possession, and a jump ball goes Beal City's way. Marcus Kent for the second straight play. It'll give Beal City a big 1st and goal. Kent was double covered on that pass. They give him 25 yards on that completion. So for the last 3 plays have all been throws. A 29-yard throw, a 21-yard throw, 30. Here's 1st and goal inside the 5. Only 2 minutes gone in the second half. Beal City's knocking on the door. Here's a handoff. Wade off the right tackle, nearing the goal line.
And goes number 4, Wade Wilson.
He stopped at about the half-yard line, real close to scoring. Wilson's second rush tonight. He also does have a catch. Here's the 2nd and goal. They spot at the 1-yard line. Well, actually at the half-yard line. Morley Stanwood loading the box. 9 defenders within the tackles. Here's a pitch. There's block. Off the right tackle. Into the end zone for a Beal City touchdown. They start the second half in a big way. Only 2.5 minutes gone. They extend this lead 20-0 over the Mohawks. Cade Block, his 6th touch tonight, his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. He was held scoreless last week against McBain, but he gets 6 points there for Beal City. Mendelon looking to go 3 for 3 on extra points. The kick was up and it was through the uprights, but the flags fly. Not sure exactly what it is. A penalty, offsides on the Mohawks. That looked to be Levi Schubert coming off of the left end. He was close to blocking that kick, but he was called for the offsides. In Mindell and the Beal City Aggies kick team will do it again. The kick's up and through. Mindell, 3 for 3 on extra points tonight. 9:14 to go in the third quarter. Beal City taking a 21-0 lead over Morley Stanwood. We step aside for a quick 30.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
An 80-yard drive for Beal City to start the second half. Puts them up 21-0. That 80-yard drive capped off by a 1-yard touchdown run from Cade Block, his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. And all 3 touchdowns have been finished off by Aiden Mindell, 3 for 3 on extra points tonight. Now the Morley Stanwood defense giving up 21 points through the first 2 quarters and a couple minutes. The most points they've allowed this season was 24 last week against Holton. Here's the kick for the first time tonight. Rylan Nelson on the return. He catches it on the run and finds his way up near the 35-yard line. He found a hole up to the 34. That's good field position for Morley Stanwood. Their first possession of the second half. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Mohawks.
Number 32, Cameron Lynch in on the tackle.
1st and 10 at the 34. Morley Stanwood in the wishbone set. Rylan Nelson to lead the charge. He gets the handoff right up the middle off the left guard. On the tackle, he was spun forward for a gain of about 3.
Running right into number 66, Peyton Sellers.
Peyton Sellers, he spun him down. Peyton Sellers, 7 tackles this season coming in. He has only played 3 games to this point, this being game number 4, out with an injury.
I do have your winning 50-50 ticket number up here.
It's 2nd and 7 from the 37. Nelson, his first touch of the second half. Now in the spread offense, Nelson in at quarterback. Carter Veldkamp, he gets the handoff, but he fumbles the handoff. Looked like he fell on it, but it could have got away from him, and it looks like it did. Beal City sideline fired up.
Fumble on the play, recovered by Beal City.
And it was a clean handoff, but Carter Veldkamp, as he switched arms with it, he dropped it at the line of scrimmage. He fell on top of it, but it must have escaped his grasp. And Beal City, they take it away and have good field position. Only 3.5 minutes gone in the second half, but they're looking to score for the second time in as many possessions.
1st and 10 Aggies at the Mohawk 35-yard line.
Last year, Beal City, Morley Stanwood played in week number 9. In the last week of the season, Beal City won 21-14. Here's the 1st and 10. Pass play to the left side. There's Ben Matthews falling backwards. He makes the acrobatic catch. Inside the 25-yard line. It's a 1st and 10. In this passing game for Beal City tonight, Jake Gross, 6 for 6. Matthews, his first reception, and that fade to the near side sideline. That's the 4th time we've seen that in the last 2 possessions, that exact same play. If it's working for you, why stray away? And Beal City, they are on top of it. 4 minutes gone in the second half. Beal City looking to extend this lead and make this game that much more out of reach. Here's a pitch. Ben Matthews, he fumbles the pitch. He maybe falls on it. A few Morley Stanwood defenders charged in. But Matthews got back on top of it. He loses one on the play. It'll be 2nd and 12 from about the 26. And overall, Morley Stanwood, they have not fared well against Beal City. 4-15-1 in the first 20 meetings, this being meeting number 21. Beal City is the only team in Morley Stanwood history where they've played over 10 times and they have a below 300 win percentage. Here's a 2nd and 12. A misdirection back off the left tackle, a handoff from Jake Gross. That's Carter Fussman with the rush, his second rush tonight. Caleb Knappen on the stop the first time we've called his name tonight. That's a gain of about 5. It'll be 3rd and 7. Here's the 3rd and 8. Dropping back is Gross, looking to the near side. He scans, here's pressure, and there's a sack. Caleb Knapp drags down Jake Gross for the big loss on the play. That is the first sack allowed this season from the Beal City offensive line. And it comes in a big way for Morley Stanwood against that driving Beal City offense. It'll be about 4th and 14. Beal City offense still on the field. It's 4th and long, but deep in Mohawk territory at the 27-yard line. A receiver to the near side. Ben Matthews in the backfield. There's a play action. He looks right, has to come to the near side. He scampers out of the pocket, looks for the end zone. Nearly picked off by Keegan Riggs. The pass was intended for Marcus Kent in the corner of the end zone. That's the first incompletion tonight for Jake Gross, and gives Morley Stanwood the football back.
That'll be a turnover on downs. 1st and 10 Mohawks from their own 27-yard line.
Morley Stanwood will have the ball at their own 27. I mentioned now Jake Gross for Beal City. He's now 6 for 7 through the air. His first completion was a touchdown. Rylan Nelson in the shotgun, rolling to the far side, looks downfield, but no one is there. Aaron Moore and Carter Veldkamp both running away from the football. Maybe a miscommunication. Nelson now 0 for 5 through the air tonight.
So, folks, your winning 50-50 ticket number. It's a good one. 7, 8, 2, 3, 3, 5, 1. 7, 8, 2, 3, 3, 5, 1. You've got that ticket. Come on to the press box and claim your 150.
And after the incompletion, it's a handoff up the middle to Nelson. But he's dropped in the backfield, losing a couple on the play.
Handoff goes to number 11, Rylan Nelson.
Nelson, his 9th rush tonight. He's also 1 for 5 through the air, 1 completion to Levi Schuberg. Nelson also has an interception. It'll be 3rd and 12 from the 25. After the turnover on downs from Beal City, Morley Stanwood working in the spread offense, rolling to the near side. Here comes pressure, throwing off the back foot to Carter Veldkamp. Jump ball, nearly picked off again by Ben Matthews. Past the midway point of the field. It's incomplete. It's going to be 4th and 12 now. Looks like Morley Stanwood, they'll be forced to punt. Ben Matthews nearly having a second interception tonight. Four punts in the first half by Andrew Van Langen. This is the 5th time, the most in a game this season for Morley Stanwood. The lefty sends it away. It rolls big in a big way inside the 30. Ben Matthews, he actually tripped and fell on that football, having to just fall on top of it. 4:21 to go in the 3rd quarter. Nearly 8 minutes gone. Beal City lucky to score for a second time in this 3rd quarter. They scored on their first possession, an 80-yard drive capped off by a 1-yard touchdown rush by Cade Block. I mentioned 5 punts tonight by Andrew Van Langen. That's the most this season in one single game by Morley Stanwood.
The announcers say hi to Sarah, claim your money.
In Beal City, they have proven themselves to be a good football team, a team that was the state runner-up in Division 8 last year. They finished 12-2. They lost 33-6 to Reading High School in the state title game. Looking to make another playoff run here this season, especially with their older guys back after the team being riddled with injuries this season. Here's the pitch to the near side. Cade block. Looks up past the 35, nearing the first down marker. And a big hit from Cody Engstrom. Right at about that first down marker here at the 39. And they give him the first down. A 10-yard rush by Cade Block, his longest tonight. And Beal City, they have a 1st and 10 from the 39. I mentioned Beal City last year, state runner-up in Division 8. Back in that state title game, a couple big injuries, one being to Ben Matthews, who couldn't play in that state game because of injuries. But this is a very established Beal City program. Only have missed the playoffs 5 times since 1966. Here's the 1st and 10, a misdirection. There's on the outside, bouncing it on the outside. The Beal City up past midfield, breaking and bouncing off tacklers. That's Jamison Latham, his 3rd rush tonight. That's a big first down for the Aggies up into Morley Stanwood territory.
Bringing you down with number 32, Cody Engstrom.
Latham on the season. Coming in, he has 3 rushes tonight, but he had 25 carries, 273 yards, and 3 touchdowns for the freshman. Giving Beal City a big first down.
Ball spotted at the Mohawk 30-yard line.
I mentioned the established Beal City program. They missed the playoffs in 17 and 18, but 17 straight years before that, 2000 to 2016, they made the playoffs. Here's a 1st and 10. Another handoff. There's Ben Matthews. Finds himself about 5 yards on the run. It'll be 2nd and 5. Cody Engstrom on the stop. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 25. After a couple big stops from the Morley Stanwood defense, it seems like these last few plays have been all Beal City. The 2nd and 5, 2 running backs in the backfield. The receiver out to the near side. And a handoff. Wade Wilson off the right tackle, bouncing it back up the middle. He has the first down and more up toward the 10-yard line. Wade Wilson, his 3rd rush tonight, finds a first down.
Tackle made by number 75, Trevor Ramirez.
A 12-yard rush for Wade Wilson. Wade Wilson, only a sophomore. We haven't seen him return punts tonight, but that's where he's at his best in the return game. 8 returns this season for 126 yards. Here's the 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Wade Wilson again, this time trucking over Levi Schuberg in the secondary for Morley Stanwood, who came in to make that stop. Picking up 3 on the play is Wade Wilson. It'll be 2nd and 7. They spot him at the 11-yard line. Beal City knocking on the doorstep of scoring for a 2nd time in this 3rd quarter. 1:30 to go in it. They scored on their first possession right out of the gate. Here's a 2nd and 7, rolling left. There's Gross to the back corner of the end zone, looking for Fussman. He made the catch, but a couple yards out of bounds. That's 2 straight incompletions for Jake Gross after completing the first 6. I mentioned the established Beal City program, going back to that talking point. 8 state final appearances, including the one last year, 2 final wins. Brad Gross, the head coach, has been part of both. He was the starting quarterback back in 1994, and in 2009, Aggies winning the state title. He was the offensive coordinator for that team. After the incompletion, the 3rd and 7. Dropping back to pass is Gross across the middle. A sliding grab looks to have been made by Fussman, but it falls out of his hands and hits the turf. That's an incompletion. It's going to be 4th down now for Beal City. Looks like they'll bring on the kicking game. And Aiden Mindell and his kicking boot. I just think that is so funny. You don't see that all too often anymore, but Mindell, he has a big right boot that he ties on when it comes to kicking. You see him playing it with it here, as he had to put it on within the time clock. The hold, the kick. It's no good. Just to the right of the right goalpost, and Beal City, they turn over on downs to Morley Stanwood. 60 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. We step aside for a quick 30 seconds.
Since 1995, ServiceMaster Clean and the Nostrand family have been cleaning carpets and upholstery, homes and businesses, restoring after fires and floods, and disinfecting COVID. And right now, ServiceMaster Clean will clean 2 rooms and a hall in your home for only $95, a savings of $40. 25 years this year, over 30 People's Choice Awards. Call on ServiceMaster Clean today. And now that the football is disinfected, let's get back to Morley Stanwood Mohawk football.
Since 1916, a lot of independent agents have recommended auto owners insurance, and a lot of parents have taken that recommendation to heart. So have a lot of their children, and grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. As we celebrate our first 100 years, Auto Owners Insurance thanks all those who have put their trust in us, and all the generations who will.
This is Scott Biller. Call for a free quote or visit billerinsurance.com.
1st and 10 for Morley Stanwood. Rylan Nelson getting the handoff off the left tackle. But did he lose that football? Beal City, they're excited. They have that ball. The 2nd time Morley Stanwood has turned over the football tonight by way of the fumble, also with an interception. Rylan Nelson's first fumble tonight in Beal City. They take that football right back.
We still don't have our 50-50 ticket winner yet. Double check those tickets.
Beal City also 1 turnover tonight. Came by way of the fumble. Only their 4th turnover on the season. Morley Stanwood turnovers have killed them a couple times this year. They escaped Holton last week with a couple fumbles, where Holton both times drove down and scored. In week number 1, Morley Stanwood turning it over in their own territory to Kent City. Both times Kent City scoring touchdowns, giving them those 16 points. Here's the 1st and 10 from the 23. Here's a handoff to the left side. Getting about 5 yards. Cade Block does. Andrew Van Langen on the stop. About 1 more play to go in this 3rd quarter. That's if Beal City runs the ball and lets the clock tick down. Beal City, they have 2 timeouts. Morley Stanwood has 3. Here's the 2nd and 10. Dropping back is Gross. Rolling right. He hears pressure. Looking back, sets his feet, throws to the end zone. Looking for Wade Wilson. He sails it over his head. Keegan Riggs had the deflection. It'll be 3rd and 10. After 6 straight completions to start this ball game, Jake Gross now 6 for 10 with a touchdown pass. Coming in 343 yards through the air for Jake Gross. Doesn't run it all too often. Only 8 carries for 1 yard and 2 fumbles for Gross.
At the Mohawk 23-yard line.
Here's the 3rd and 10. A quick pass to the flats to Ben Matthews, but he's met by Rylan Nelson on the stop. A loss of a yard on the play. It'll be 4th and long for Beal City. And the clock hits zeros in this 3rd quarter. 3 down, 1 quarter to go. Beal City, they have this game in hand. 21-0. The last 12 minutes next on 99.1 The Rewind.
Since 1995, ServiceMaster Clean and the Nostrand family have been cleaning carpets and upholstery, homes and businesses, restoring after fires and floods, and disinfecting COVID. And right now, ServiceMaster Clean will clean 2 rooms and a hall in your home for only $95, a savings of $40. 25 years this year, over 30 People's Choice Awards. Call on ServiceMaster Clean today. And now that the football is disinfected, let's get back to Morley Stanwood Mohawk football.
Since 1916, a lot of independent agents have recommended auto owners insurance, and a lot of parents have taken that recommendation to heart. So have a lot of their children, and grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. As we celebrate our first 100 years, Auto Owners Insurance thanks all those who have put their trust in us, and all the generations who will.
This is Scott Biller. Call for a free quote or visit billerinsurance.com.
12 minutes to go in this ball game. Morley Stanwood down 21-0. Beal City attempting their 2nd field goal in as many possessions. The last one was no good. Here's the snap, the hold, the kick. Just under the goalpost. It'll be no good. Aiden Mindell tonight now 3 for 3 on extra points and 0 for 2 on field goal tries. That one would have been a 41-yarder. That's a big low from Aiden Mindell in the right kicking boot.
Your winning 50-50 ticket number 7-8.
Morley Stanwood will have the ball
3-5-1.
at about the 20-yard line to start this possession. 1st and 10 for them, looking to score for the first time tonight. They were driving to end the first half before an interception. Here's now a handoff from Aaron Moore. Up the middle for a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Goes to number 8, Carter Veldkamp.
Carter Veldkamp had that handoff. Veldkamp, the last time he had touched the football, he fumbled it. Only his 7th rush tonight. Veldkamp has been real quiet, especially over the last couple weeks. He did have a touchdown last week, Veldkamp did, but only 55 yards on the ground after a couple weeks of really big gains for the senior. Here's the 2nd and 8. They go back to Veldkamp, and the big 6'4" frame just dragging Beal City defenders near that first down marker. They spot him just short of the 30, but they give him the first down. Carter Veldkamp, his 2nd first down tonight. Morley Stanwood, they have a 1st and 10. Morley Stanwood sticking in the wishbone set. Sophomore Tim Engstrom leading the triangle with Rylan Nelson and Carter Veldkamp behind him. They give it to Veldkamp. And he dives forward past the 35. There's a chunk play, a couple of them for Carter Veldkamp. He's coming to life a bit. He picks up 5 on that play. It's 2nd and 5. And that's where Morley Stanwood will be dangerous. If they're in that wishbone set, they'll run it between the tackles. They have the lead blocking with 3 backers in the backfield. That's a positive to it, but they'll get chunk plays. Zane Moore last week, 65 yards, all on 5-yard rushes. Here's another dive up the middle. Rylan Nelson getting that one. They give him 2 on the play. Up to the 37, it's 3rd and 3. 2 minutes gone in this 4th quarter. Morley Stanwood, they're in danger of being blanked for a 2nd time this season. over the last 4 weeks in those 4 wins, their offense has been huge, averaging just under 40 points in each of those 4 games. Here's a pitch on 3rd and 3. Rylan Nelson bouncing it outside up toward the 40. Scampers past that 40-yard line for a first down.
Rylan Nelson on the run.
Jamison Latham bringing him down. It's another first down for Morley Stanwood. They're second on this possession. Morley Stanwood across midfield only once tonight, and that was to end the first half, which resulted in a Rylan Nelson interception. Here's the 1st and 10. Van Langen off the right tackle, past the 45. Picking up about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Van Langen only his 2nd rush tonight. Andrew Van Langen, not typically a running back in this offense for Art Campione. His younger brother, Ashton Van Langen, the junior, typically the number 3 and 4 running back. But he's out this week. Here's the 2nd and 7. Carter Veldkamp, he has the pitch. He has the edge on the outside. But he's tripped up near midfield. Picking up 4 more. It'll be 3rd and 4 for Morley Stanwood right at the 50-yard line. Veldkamp, 4 rushes on this drive, a couple first downs for him.
Third and 4 at the 50-yard line.
The 3rd and 4, Rylan Nelson off the left tackle, but he's stopped at the line of scrimmage. He maybe falls forward for a half a yard. But it's going to be 4th down. Nelson, 13 rushes tonight. He had 19 carries last week for 190 yards. Rylan Nelson just barely getting over 20 yards in the first half. He also has thrown an interception and he has fumbled the football. No scores for him. Here's the 4th and full. Moore. The pass to the flats to Carter Veldkamp. He makes the catch, trying to fight for the first down, but it looks like he'll be short. Veldkamp's first catch tonight. They give him a yard on the completion, but it goes back to Beal City. Other than a couple turnovers and 5 punts, the first time that Morley Stanwood has given the ball away, not by way of punt or turnover. It'll be 1st and 10, Beal City, from the 49-yard line. 7:30 to go in this ball game. Three timeouts remaining for Morley Stanwood, 3 for Beal City in this half. Here's a handoff to the near side. Finding a hole, up to the near side, past midfield, past the 35-yard line. There's the freshman, Jamison Latham, his 4th touch tonight. Gives Beal City a first down. Beal City have a 1st and 10 from the 33. The clock runs down. Beal City all but 2 possessions have they been inside Morley Stanwood territory. And Morley Stanwood, conversely, only twice they've been in Beal City territory. The second time coming just on the last possession. Here's a dive up the middle. Cade Block, he has a first down up toward the 20.
Cade Block, your ball carrier. And another Beal City.
That's a 13-yard gain by Cade Block, another first down. Block 9 rushes tonight. Also has a touchdown. He was the 1-yard touchdown runner in the first possession of the second half, which gave Beal City a 21-0 lead. A couple times in this second half, Beal City has been on the doorstep, but they have not been able to punch it in. Regardless, they have a 21-0 lead. Their defense getting the job done. Here's a quick pass in the flats. That's Marcus Kent. A new quarterback in for Beal City. That's Hunter Miles, junior backup quarterback. Miles sports number 12. Also plays defensive back on the defensive side. That's his first completion tonight. Miles still in this ballgame under center. A pitch play to block to the outside on the far side. He's tripped up by Andrew Van Langen. Nearing that first down marker, it's going to be 3rd and short.
2, 3, 5, 4, 7. 7, 8, 2, 3, 5, 4, 7.
Block now into double digits in rushes here tonight. Last week he had 15.
8, 2, 3, 5, 4, 7.
Of course, Cade Block coming in, the lead rusher on this Beal City team. Him and Ben Matthews really sharing that number 1 and number 2 backer spot. 5:30 to go in this fourth quarter. And a fumbled handoff. There's Hunter Miles trying to hand it off to Jamison Latham. And it goes Morley Stanwood's way. And that's the 3rd turnover tonight for Beal City. They had 3 coming into this ballgame all season long. They've doubled their total, and Morley Stanwood down by 21 points. Looking to score for the first time tonight. Obviously, those turnovers have not hurt Beal City. That's a few times now they've been inside the red zone and have not been able to capitalize. Here's a 1st and 10, an end-around jet sweep to Carter Veldkamp. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. They give him a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Dustin Tyler on the tackle. Gaining a yard on the play. 2nd down and 9 at the Mohawk.
Veldkamp, 5 rushes in the last possession and 1 play. And before that, he only touched the football 6 times. And one of those times, he lost it on a fumble. Nelson, he's in the shotgun. Another end around, this time to the near side to Levi Schuberg. He tries to find a hole. He maybe gets a yard on the play. Schuberg, his 3rd rush tonight. He does pick up a yard. A couple yards they give him. It'll be 3rd and 7 from the 23. Morley Stanwood on this possession. Already a couple minutes gone in the first couple plays. Only 4:10 in this ball game left. Morley Stanwood, it looks like they are officially out of it and will lose for the 2nd time this season. Here's a quarterback keeper from the shotgun, Rylan Nelson, fighting his way, nearing the 30-yard line, and a big pile of Morley Stanwood offensive linemen shove him up toward that 30-yard line. He was well short of the first down. That extra push gives him a first down, a 7-yard rush from Rylan Nelson. Keeps Morley Stanwood's hopes alive. And I mentioned that Morley Stanwood's offense hasn't been what they usually are this season, averaging 40 points a game over the last 4. Beal City's defense coming into tonight, only 274 yards allowed all season long in those first 5 games. Here's the 1st and 10 handoff to Carter Veldkamp. Scampers across the 40-yard line for a first down. That's a 13-yard carry by Carter Veldkamp. That's the 2nd straight first down from that Morley Stanwood rushing attack. What I mentioned, Beal City's defense. Their offense has been good. 1,862 yards of total offense in the first 5 weeks. But that real mind-boggling stat, only 274 yards allowed on the defensive side coming into tonight. Defense wins championships. Here's the 1st and 10. Rylan Nelson losing his footing and somehow gaining about 4 yards on the run. 2:50 to go in this ball game, and a couple minutes gone again. It'll be 2nd and 6 from the 47. Morley Stanwood only across midfield 2 times tonight. And the second time last possession, they only got to Beal City's 49, 1 yard into their territory before they gave it away on a turnover on downs. Here's a quarterback draw from the shotgun. Rylan Nelson, he picks up a 1st down and more into Beal City territory. Cross the 35, cross the 30. That's the biggest play tonight from the Morley Stanwood offense. Rylan Nelson, the senior quarterback, doing it all. Up near the 20-yard line. They spot him out at the 16. This is by far the furthest Morley Stanwood has been inside Beal City territory. They're looking to score for the first time tonight.
1st and 10 Mohawks at the Aggies 15-yard line.
This game, head coach Art Campione knew it was going to be a tough test. But to show some fight as the playoffs are looming next week, Morley Stanwood looking to do more of the same here. The 1st and 10 rush, it's fumbled by Rylan Nelson, and it's picked up by Beal City. Josh Wilson, he recovers that football. And Beal City, with less than 2 minutes to go in this ballgame, looks like they can just run the clock out. The 2nd fumble tonight by Rylan Nelson. The 4th turnover overall for Morley Stanwood. Morley Stanwood looks like they'll be blanked for the 2nd time this season. In both losses, they'll drop to 4 and 2. They scored no points. And it was a tough way to start and finish this season for Morley Stanwood. And league-leading Kent City in the CSAA Silver. And the Highland Conference, always real good. Led by Beal City. It's a tough way to end this season.
Cody Engstrom in on the tackle.
The 1st and 10, picking up 4 yards is Beal City. It'll be 2nd and 6. Beal City that have played each other in the last 4 seasons. They didn't play each other from 2005 to 2015, but in the last 4 years, these two teams split the season series 2-2. Morley Stanwood has won the 2 of the last 3. They'll drop this ball game and fall 2-3 in the last 5 against Beal City. Here's the 2nd and 6. Here's Fussman on the far side of the field. He picks up a 1st down, his 3rd rush tonight. And Beal City, all they have to do is run the clock out. Head coach Art Campione not electing to use any of his 3 timeouts that Morley Stanwood still has. $50 seconds to go. Depending on how long Beal City waits, this game could only need 1 more play. And Beal City, they get in victory formation. Under 40 seconds to go. This could be the last snap of this ball game. And Beal City, they take a knee.
Just a reminder, after the game, there is going to be a band performance for seniors.
And that's it. Beal City, they pick up win number 5 of the season, 21-0 over the Morley Stanwood Mohawks. And Morley Stanwood, they lose their first and last game of the regular season. They fall to 4-2, dropping this one by a score of 21-0. The second time that Morley Stanwood has been blanked in a ball game this season, both times in the losses. It's playoff time. All teams in the state of Michigan make the MHSAA playoffs. And next week, we await to see who Morley Stanwood will play. As of right now, they're a 3 seed. After this loss, we await to see where they will be in the playoff seedings. For my cameraman and producer, Nathan Allen, Jeff Roberts signing off for the last time of the 2020 regular season. We have playoff football next week on 99.1 The Rewind. Good night, everybody.